Welcome into another edition of the Rocky Top Rundown, your one-stop shop for all things Tennessee athletics. I'm Matthew King.
And I'm Caleb Leach.
This weekend was full of volunteer action, so let's get started with the number 10 ranked Lady Vols soccer team. The Lady Vols played 2 games over the past 5 days, and we got the highlights from their game against Georgia on Saturday. The Lady Vols came into this one focused and determined following a tough 2-1 defeat to Vandy on Thursday. This game would be pivotal for keeping their SEC East championship hopes alive and would see senior Mackenzie George earn SEC Offensive Player of the Week honors. So let's jump here to the 7th minute to get into the action. Jada Thomas drives, but Emery Wegner stands firm in the goal, and Georgia is able to clear. In the 14th minute now, UT gets another opportunity. Mackenzie George is driving and gets it to Thomas on the goal, but Georgia able to knock it away. Later in the half, Georgia slips a ball through, and Lindsay Roebuck is able to save, but she gets clipped on the play. She's down, and she would have to have some extra help from the sideline to exit the game. Senior Ashley Gaber would step into goal for the Lady Vols for the remainder of the game. Here in the dying embers of the half, a goal by Carriel Ellis finds the back of the net in style. Hannah Zalewski provided the assist with a lovely weighted cross. And Smokey was super hyped after that. It's 1-0 Lady Vols at the end of the first half. In the second half now, following a UT corner, the ball is lofted into Thomas, and she finds George on the right, who slices the ball across the goal and into the far corner. Lady Vols add to their lead, making it now 2-0. The Lady Bulldogs would not go quietly, though. On a counterattack, Tori Penn is able to get behind the defense, and there's a lot of dribbling around here, very impressive, and gets it into the far corner. And now it's a 1-score game with time left on the clock. But Thomas was going to close out the game in the 88th minute. She was on fire tonight and got herself a goal and an assist to show for it. The crowd's going to cheer tonight because their team just won 3-1 in favor of the Lady Vols. The Lady Vols improved to a 17-2 record and had their 14th different goal scorer of the season. They hope to continue to spread the love on Thursday when they close out the regular season against Kentucky at home. A win in this game will clinch SEC East honors as well as a double bye in the tournament. And that game will be broadcast on the SEC network for those unable to attend in person.
I know the Lady Vols will give it everything they have on Thursday, just like on Saturday when the Tennessee football team traveled to Tuscaloosa to take on 4th-ranked Alabama. Let's get into the highlights. Early in the first quarter, Alabama has driven all the way down the field, and here they hand it off to Brian Robinson Jr. He breaks a few tackles for the score to put the Tide up early. Next possession, Tennessee fires one here deep down the field to Cedric Tillman, who makes a tremendous catch, setting the Vols up in the red zone. Later in the possession, Hendon Hooker fakes the handoff, reads the defense, and fires a strike to Velus Jones Jr. in the back of the end zone to bring the game back to even. The next possession, Tennessee's pass rush is able to disrupt the play as they drag down Bryce Young for the sack. Alabama would punt the ball back to Tennessee, who dials up another deep pass, and this one hits Javonte Patton in stride as he makes a defender miss and puts Tennessee up on the Crimson Tide 14-7. Giving a nice celebration there. Now in the second quarter, Bryce Young finds Jamison Williams for a solid gain, but Williams fumbles the ball, and the Vols land on it. Tennessee looking fantastic on defense with a few big plays.
That's surprising, right?
Yeah. The offense did stall out and punted the ball back to Alabama, who drove right back down the field for the second week in a row. Tennessee faces a Heisman Trophy candidate who makes big plays with his legs, and Bryce Young scampers into the end zone to tie the game back up. At the end of the second quarter, Alabama is back in the red zone, where this time Bryce Young finds Robert Mechie for a touchdown, putting the Tide up by a score. Early in the second half, Tennessee special teams creates a big play, blocking the punt, and then tackling former volunteer Henry To'o to set the team up in the red zone.
Boy,
Fans
they were
going
happy.
a little crazy. The Vols would settle for a field goal, which does bring the score within 4 points.
It's rare to see Tuscaloosa crowd be kind of quiet.
Yeah. Now at the end of the third quarter, Bryce Young has all day and finally finds Trayshawn Holden for a big gain.
Can't do anything about that when you can't get to the quarterback and there's a receiver right there.
Nope. And then at the end of that drive, early in the fourth quarter, Bryce Young again breaks out of the pocket, fights his way for the touchdown. As he dove for the end zone, though, the ball did come loose, and Tennessee came out of the pile with the ball. However, the play was reviewed, and somehow upheld as an Alabama touchdown.
This is normal in Tuscaloosa now, let's not forget.
Hendon Hooker wasn't going to go quietly, though. And he, again here, flings it deep, and Cedric Tillman runs away from his defender, and boom, has another Tennessee score.
I bet that place got real quiet.
But the Crimson Tide had begun to roll at this point, and here they hit another big play to Jamison Williams, who sets up the Tide in the red zone. He is just so fast.
That was a dime.
And at this point, Brian Robinson Jr. takes over the game, running through defenders for this score, breaking arm tackle after arm tackle after arm tackle.
Yeah, kind of hard to tackle him, kind of like another guy they had.
Again, Robinson runs it into the end zone after Tennessee starts to go for it on fourth down in their own territory, and eventually the Tide win this game 52-24. The Vols gave it everything they had, but in the end just couldn't maintain the intensity for the entire game.
This bye week for the Vols could not have come at a better time, though. You got to rest up, get healthy, and get ready for the key matchup in Lexington against Kentucky to start the month of November. This weekend also featured the Lady Vols volleyball team going on the road to take on the LSU Tigers. After winning a 5-set thriller against LSU Saturday night, the Tennessee volleyball team was swept by the Tigers Sunday afternoon. LSU defeated the number 20 Lady Vols in straight sets 25-20, 25-20, and 25-23, gaining a Southeastern Conference split at the Maravich Assembly Center in Baton Rouge. Lily Feltz and Morgan Fingal each recorded 9 kills for Tennessee. Fingal also tallied 2 blocks, while Feltz, a Knoxville native, posted 11 digs. Brianna Runnels finished with 8 kills and 1 block. Natalie Hayward was the leading passer against the Tigers as she had 27 assists. Madison Bryant finished the match with 11 digs and 5 assists. Tennessee returns to action Wednesday when it hosts defending national champion Kentucky Wednesday night at Thompson-Boling Arena. Next up, Sami Roebuck got to speak with senior Gianna Pelizan of the Lady Volunteers about her passion for the sport of volleyball.
When athletes come to the University of Tennessee to play a sport, they're not just joining a team, but they're joining a family. Senior volleyball player Gianna Pelizan comes to tell us about her experience here and her start with volleyball.
I started when I was 10 years old, and then I just fell in love with it. I was very, very short, you can't tell, but super short, but they're like, don't worry about it, like, you know, there's a back row position. So I started doing that, got really scrappy on the beach, which helps my indoor game. Played club for, gosh, up until my senior year of high school, and then, you know, I committed my senior year, and here I am now.
Volleyball is not just a sport that showcases talent, but it builds character and creates relationships as well.
So what's so cool about being in sport in general, you know, sport's that one thing that binds people together, and a lot of my teammates we're all from different states, and I would have never met these girls if I didn't come here, didn't play volleyball here. And just rooming with my friends, my teammates for the past 4 years, you know, some people would think it's a lot, but honestly, like, we're literally like sisters and family. We know so much about each other, which also helps us like play well together too. And then also like mentors, I would say definitely my coaches. You know, they're kind of like our parents per se. You know, they're like the ones watching us and keeping us in line, and definitely like professors and academic advisors, like always pushing us that way too. So very cool to have both sides of volleyball and academics helping.
Sports here at the University of Tennessee will continue to change lives and further their impact on the athletic community. For the Rocky Top Rundown, I'm Sami Roebuck.
It takes a lot to be a Vol. From volleyball that's just in the deepest part of its season to what's coming up next, basketball, where we have the Lady Vols who are gearing up to start play soon. And our own guy here, Matthew, had a chance to sit down with Emily Saunders about their upcoming season.
It's no secret that the most accomplished program in Tennessee athletics is the Lady Vol basketball team. One player for the Lady Vols, junior center Emily Saunders, speaks on the brand she represents when she steps out on the court.
Pat Summitt, you know, the legacy. You can't say Lady Vols without Pat Summitt. So, I mean, playing for such a prestigious program, it's a lot to carry, but, I mean, it's so worth it.
This season will be Kelly Harper's 3rd season coaching the Lady Vols. Harper played under Coach Summitt during a stretch of 3 national titles in the late 1990s. Saunders breaks down how that translates to Harper's style of coaching.
Well, she's very fiery. She's very gritty. She shows a lot of heart. You could definitely definitely tell, like, we like saw clips of like Kelly playing, like, over the last couple of years, she's shown a little bit. She literally she coaches the same way she plays. She's very vocal and she gets on us, like, but it's all out of love and it's all out of like the will to win.
The Lady Vols come into this season ranked 15 in the preseason AP poll, but Saunders believes that her team can far exceed their expectations in 2021.
Take it game by game. That's all you can do. I mean, number 15 is not too shabby, but we want to be number 1. So we just got to prove to everyone that we have what it takes. And I feel like we have the personnel to do so, and we have the team chemistry to be able to show everyone that we're capable of that number 1 spot.
With the Rocky Top Rundown, I'm Matthew King.
The Lady Vols will tip off their season on November 3rd at Thompson Bowling Arena against Georgia College at 6:30. Or if you can't make it, you can stream it on the SEC Network Plus.
Keeping up with the players and the team is easier now than ever. With streaming services, radio broadcasts, and social media all available, fans can follow along with a click of their finger. Of course, all that content is controlled by the media team, which our own Zach Patton gives us an inside glimpse at this week.
Over the past 27 years, the Lady Vols basketball program has racked up a lot of hardware.
What a special opportunity that was to come here and be a part of the program with Coach Summit.
And very few can say they've lived it.
97-98 for the undefeated season. Of course, Coach Harper was playing on that team. And just to be a part of that, the experience of an undefeated season, those don't happen very often.
Eric Traynor is the Associate Director of Media Relations and has been on the sidelines with the Lady Vols for all of his 27 years.
Coach Summit, with her milestones that she reached, I think 1,000 victories, everything along the way, 880 for the NCAA mark, and then 1,000 victories, and then continuing on.
If you've ever seen news about the Lady Vols, chances are Eric had a hand in facilitating that information.
My primary job is to publicize the women's basketball program, staff members, players, and the overall program to the community, to the media.
The media world is looking a lot different compared to when Eric started back in 1997.
But with social media now, we have the ability, rather than sending it to a media outlet to put it out for us, we can do that ourselves. Whether that be with graphics, messaging, linking press releases, and video content.
The world of media may be forever changing, but I can tell you one thing that's not: Eric's love for his job and this program. For Rocky Top Rundown, I'm Zach Patton.
Alongside the Lady Vols, the men's basketball team looks to start their season on a high note this Saturday, the 30th, in Thompson Bowling Arena at 3 p.m. Or you can stream it on the SEC Network Plus. Basketball is back in Knoxville, and I know Vol fans are excited to see both teams get going.
Along with the basketball team playing this weekend, the Tennessee cross country team travels to the SEC Cross Country Championships. The tennis team will host the Tennessee Fall Invitational, and softball has a 2-game home series with Kentucky.
There's always plenty of sports going on here on Rocky Top, but if you can't keep up with all of it, don't worry, you can join us again next week for all the updates you need.
Until then, get out and support the Vols this week as they host several big matchups here in Knoxville. From myself, Matthew, and all our crew here, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.